Yo, my peoples, what's up? Welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Jason here, and today I have a playthrough for Dice Conquest. This one is from WizKids Games. If you know anything about that imprint, they like small, they like quirky, they like outside the box. And in the cooperative space, we actually don't get a ton of fully cooperative filler-style games, games that last about 15 to 20 minutes, but nevertheless that pack a strategic punch on some level. Dice Conquest promises to fill that niche a little bit. It is a dice-driven game. You will recognize, if you are a role player at all, your standard set of D20, D12, all the way down to D4. You are using that to enable the powers of your characters and get through the dungeon. We are going to go through this whole deck and eventually face off against the big bad dragon at the bottom. So if you're looking for a fully cooperative experience in a span of about 15 to 20 minutes, let's see if Dice Conquest is a fit for you. This is the One Stop Co-op Shop. You're on the YouTube channel. Check out our YouTube stream channel as well. Make sure you're subscribed to both and like the videos that you enjoy. We have our podcast, which is available on all podcast platforms, discussion-oriented, gaming-focused coverage, interviews, special features. Check out the One Stop Co-op Shop podcast. We have our Discord, which is a great community. We're always welcoming new players, new people that are into solo and co-op, whether you're old veterans or just getting to know the hobby. We welcome all. It is free to join. Go ahead and check the link in the show notes to this very video. We would very much appreciate a contribution to our Patreon. That's how we keep the games in front of the camera and the tech upgraded. In exchange, you get exclusive access to channels in the Discord as well as videos. You get all that from the One Stop Co-op Shop Gaming Empire. We are the One Stop Co-op Shop, your one stop for solo cooperative gaming goodness. We are just going to jump right in. This is such a simple game. We can get started, and you should know basically how to play the game after I play one round. So then the first thing you do every single round, first, second, third, fourth, etc., is to deal out 3 cards. At the beginning of the game, this will be empty. As we go on, I will defeat monsters. Maybe I'll defeat all of them. Maybe I'll defeat none of them. Doesn't matter. Deal 3 more cards. So it can get pretty long. Just wanted to flag that for people. As you're dealing cards, follow their text. Sometimes they'll have text that affects you during the fight. They'll stop you from taking certain rolls or discard dice. All sorts of effects happen when the creatures come out. The one you're going to want to look for during the deal is if it tells you to deal additional card. So a couple of the monsters do that. They can chain, deal additional cards, and deal with whatever comes out. The very next thing that you're going to do every single round is one player is going to grab the dice and roll them bones. You got 7 dice, so we are going to roll all 7, and that will be available as a draft for each character to draft back and forth. The game comes with a bunch of different characters. I have the Sorcerer and the Knight right here. You have Warrior, Barbarian, Wizard, Priest, all the familiar tropes if you are familiar with role-playing games. So I'm playing a 2-player game. I am setting their health to 10 each. If I was playing a 1-player game, it would be at 20, and then I would distribute the health as player count demands. Each character is going to have 2 different powers on their card. One power is always going to be on, and usually it's either when drafting or placing a die. And they are going to have what the game calls a critical hit power. Here's the Sorceress a little bit closer. Their power is when placing a die, increase all other dice in that creature by 2. So as I place dice on the creature that's going to represent damage, they're going to be able to inflate whatever damage is already on there, but don't have to worry about that right now. Nor do we have to worry about this 8. It says when placing the die, roll and return 1 spent die from the available dice area. When I defeat monsters, the dice will go, they don't come back into my pool. They go to a spent area. The Sorceress can bring those back. So let's see if I can make that happen. So I'm going to set up the Knight for their special action. So the Sorceress is going to go. They're going to draft this 6. So I have a chance to re-roll once. If I'm not happy with the roll, I'm probably going to re-roll this 3 because on a D20, a 3 is fairly pathetic. But 6 is perfect. I'm going to put that here. Reason I'm isolating this character is because they deal 2 damage. So they're doubly as damaging as the rest of the monsters. I will demonstrate damage at the end once I've drafted all the dice, but it's just good to get rid of as many monsters as possible as early as possible. So the knight has 2 powers. When attacking with a die that is 7 or less, you cannot take damage unless fighting the last monster. Some of the monsters, when you place a die, you take the damage. And I'm not playing with a healer, so I have to really conserve. So I am going to ignore that, but I'm going to play this critical. Change the die to any number or discard it to slay a creature with 10 or remaining health. So I am going to take this 3. There's not much that I can do with this 3. However, a lot of the characters can do stuff with the D4, which is really what you want to look for here in Dice Conquest. Let's use these weenie dice. Going to just discard it. That is going to go away into my spend action pool. This Warg Rider is down to 10 because I have 6. The Knight's special power is that if I discard a 3, then I just automatically defeat a monster that has 10 or less. Goodbye, Warg Rider. That's how you play Dice Conquest. Play is going to move back to the Sorceress. I have the choice whether I want to beat the Banshee or the Stone Golem. Looking at my rolls, I'm going to get re-rolls, so I might have a chance to beat this Golem. But the Banshee's here, and a couple of things. First of all, the Sorceress's shtick is that they bring back dice from the spent pool. This Banshee prevents me from doing that. So it's probably good if I want to unlock the Sorceress's power that I go after this Banshee. Also, you might notice this. They give you a Scythe. Quicksilver Blade. Discard to add +1/-1 to your chosen die roll. It is a magic item. So then I wouldn't just discard this. I would get this in my inventory and be able to use it as a one-time shot at any time. And if I'm going for something like this, where the Stone Golem says only even dice may be placed on this creature, I may not have any even dice. This will come in real handy to get the dice to do what I want. Let's go ahead and draft this D12. I can do better than 4, right? Let's go ahead and give that my 1 allowed reroll. No. That is this game. If you get a reroll, you might be stuck with it. There are other characters that can manipulate the rolls a little bit better, and items that can allow you to manipulate rolls. But once you roll for the most part. That's what I got. So here is where I could take advantage of some really powerful effects. And this just so happened to come across. I did not rig this for the camera people. This is the kind of cool factor of the game. All right, so the knight says, critical draft of a 3. Change this die to any number or discard a slay creature. I did that second option. Let's do the first. Hey, look at that. The D20 rolled my way, went to a 3. Let's go ahead and draft this bad boy and turn it into... We all recognize what that is. Bam! Let's take care of that thing before it causes too much problems. And so now the Sorceress goes. They're going to take this die. I think I can do a little bit better than that. So I'm going to go ahead and re-roll that 4 and get another 4. That is unfortunate, but it is an even die. So I am able to place that right there, and that defeats this Stone Golem, making my way through the dungeon, baby. So now I have 2 dice left. I have an outside chance to be able to roll this to a number where I can beat this Banshee. So let's go ahead and give that 2 a reroll, a 7. Fantastic. So then we are going to place that, and that I've done 10 damage right there. The Sorceress, it is her last go, and they are going to just place this 6. Doesn't matter. I will be able to place that. Overkill is fine. And I have defeated all 3 cards at the beginning of the game. That doesn't always happen. You might get held up by a nasty combination of cards. But that is the kind of back and forth that this game encourages. One character puts something on there, sets up the next character. Cooperation right baked into the beginning of the game. And so a couple things happen. So as I showed you, this is a magic item. I get to keep this magic item. And now I do the end of the round. If there were dice left on monsters, then I could choose either to take them back or to leave them on the monster. So let's say I rolled and I put a low die on there, then I could take it back and try next round. Or if I'm satisfied with it, like if I had that 20 on there and didn't manage to finish off that monster, keep the 20 that's up there for next turn. That is your choice. Then the monsters do damage to you. So let's say there's 2 monsters were hanging out. They would do 2 collective damage to the party, distributed. So then one character would take 1 damage and another character would take another. If it was 1 player, they'd take 2 damage and, etc. through that distribution. But we don't have to worry about that, at least this round. And so let's go ahead and deal out a whole new round of characters. All right, there's the hag. Reveal, draw additional card. So that will count right now. Let's see if, here we go, a reveal. One hero must take 1 damage. I should probably say the names of these things, right? The Hag and thus Giant Spider. Paladin is a little bit better at avoiding damage, so let's go ahead and give that damage to them. And I have to deal out 2 more. Hopefully I don't get another monster that has additional card. Doppelganger, I hate the Doppelganger so much. Because this one says, until this creature is slain, discard the highest set of matching numbers rolled at the beginning of each round. Discarding is terrible. I happen to have the Sorceress, which is the one character that can mitigate discards, but there's only one of these in the deck. Really annoying whenever I see him. And let's see, Gargoyle. When placing a die on this creature, discard an available die to the spent die area. Ugh. Gonna have to go and beat this thing last. So these are a nastier set of monsters, so this is definitely not going to run through them, but by beating them, I have all sorts of items available to me, and I'll show you those as I defeat, hopefully, these monsters. Let's go ahead and give those dice a good roll. Okay, that's not so bad, but... So they take this D12, this D8, 2 dice on the relatively valuable side, and that Doppelganger discards them. They are going down first. We're going to go first with the Knight this time, and they don't have anything that triggers off of this one, but let's go ahead and give a roll. Let's turn that into an 8. That is fantastic, and put that on the Doppelganger. So I'm going to go ahead and take this 2 next. I'm going to leave that 10 for the Knight to play with. Hopefully they can take that out, see what the Sorceress can do. Let's go ahead and roll that. I can roll before declaring which monster gets this die. So let's go ahead and roll. That is a 2. Welcome to Dice Games. So we're just going to go ahead and put that 2 on this Hag. They are the least threatening thing. They've already done their bad thing, but the other 2 creatures have bad stuff. When you put the die on there, that's kind of how you have to calculate as you make your decisions. So let's not mess around with the Knight. We absolutely need to get rid of this Doppelganger, so we're going to go 10 and 8, 18, dead. It is a Sorceress's go, and I'm going to place this 9. But before I do that, I will note that this is the D100. This does not mean 100 damage. It's actually 10, so it's basically another D10, 1 to 10. So we're going to go ahead and put that there. That is odd, so I'll either get them this round or next round. And I give myself an outside chance of, or at least a 1 in 4 chance of beating this thing with a Knight. And so the Knight is going to have the last roll. This is going to be really exciting. 2, boo. And so you think that might have been futile because I rolled that 2. However, this is what I had as a backup, the Banshee. Discard to add +1, -1 to your chosen die. We are performing surgery over here, baby. We are going to turn that into a 3. +1. So then it is the Knight's go. So they're going to change that die to any number or discard it to slay a creature with 9 health or less. Very important because they're a pain in the butt to put dice on, and they would have dealt 2 extra damage. So getting rid of that is absolutely key. I am also have the Gauntlet of Healing. Discard this card to heal 1 damage from any hero. I'm probably going to use that right away on the Knight because they are going to be absorbing the bulk of my damage. So now everyone is at full, but not for long. We have 2 damage to distribute. We're going to go 9 and 9, and away we go with a new round. So let us see what I get for the row. Giant Cobra, 26 hit points. That is no good at all. And take 1 damage and placing the die on this creature. That is going to be the Knight's specialty because they don't take any damage when they do that. I will show the item when we get there. Notice that there are lots of items available to me. Another one. Ooh, Goblin Shaman. They're easy to kill, but you cannot use critical hits until this creature is slain. That's unfortunate. And the last one is the Goblin Scout. Discard the die with the highest number when rolled at the beginning of the round. If there's a tie, the first player chooses. So the waters are starting to definitely rise. And so I haven't used the Sorceress's power yet, which is to recover die from the spent action area. This Goblin Scout may ensure that I'm going to want the die that goes in there. So remember, the highest die is going to go into the spent pool. 19. No! I needed you. All right, so the first round is back to the Sorceress. This will happen every single round. I just hate just like with the Doppelganger, I can't stand the monster that discard dice. So let's go ahead, take advantage of the fact that this doesn't get much better than that, and discard this Goblin Scout. Let's go ahead and grab this die with the knight. I have a 50% chance of rolling better than this. I also, I don't know. We'll see what happens. That is a 6. How many times am I going to do that this fight? Let's go ahead and place that there. Ooh, man, Sorceress is just not able to exercise too much success. So let's go ahead and take this 4 and actually use their power. So then we're going to put that 4 over here. The 4 increases the 6 to an 8. That is a Sorceress's power. 8 plus 4 is 12. The Goblin Shaman is defeated. So great, I'm back to where I started. So let's go ahead with the Knight. We are going to take this die and roll that. Let's see if we can get something good. A 4, I'll take it. And it's going to have to go over here to this Hag and the Sorceress. As much as she would love to push her luck, we are just going to go ahead and take the Bird in Hand. That is enough to defeat the Hag and at least spare me 1 damage. So you see the attrition battle that is this game. So now I'm going to take 3 damage down to 8. I'll put this one down to 7 and pull 3 more cards. Let's go 1, which is the Wyvern. Wow, 3 damage. Oh, that's not going to do anybody any good. Okay, we have, oh, good lord. Cave Giant, 3 damage, 34 hit points. Are you kidding me? Take 1 damage when placing on this creature. But you notice these powerful creatures are giving me magic items. And I probably should have showed this. I did get 2 magic items. The first one being Wand of Blasting. Place this card in a creature to deal 3 damage to it. Discard this card when this creature is slain. And another heal, which is going to go to my Knight after I pull this last creature. Oh my god. The Ogre, the tank. You cannot target any other creature until this creature is slain. Alright, so let's heal that Knight from 7 up to 8 and roll our bones. Okay, 16, 12. Wow, we actually got some decent sized rolls over here for once. Have to go beat the Ogre first. I am not sure if I left off with the Knight or the Sorceress. I'm sure someone will call me out for cheating, but it is what it is. We're going to go with the Knight first. So we're going to put that 16 right there because I got real no choice. And the Sorceress's power is that when I place a die on a monster, increase all the other dice in that monster by 2. Let's go ahead and pump that up to 18. There it is. We have 30. We have beaten the Ogre. It took my 2 biggest dice to do it, but at least I did it. And so these are some of the strongest monsters in the deck. So I'm probably going to have to go gonzo with some of these rolls here. Let's go ahead and set up the Knight again. The Knight every other character would take 1 damage when placing a die here. Not the Knight. Let's see what you get to do. Wow, I improved from 1 to 3. No! Actually, I still can use it. So the Knight's power says, change this die, when I draft the 3, change this die to any number instead. So let's go ahead and bump that 3 up to 6. That helps. You know what? We're going to retcon that just a hair. Let's go ahead and put it on this Wyvern. I just noticed that they deal 3 damage. And the Sorceress can actually affect this thing just a little bit. So let's go ahead and put this 6 over here, just natural. I can't do much better than the 6, so that gives me 12 on there, which is 11. Moving the dice into the frame, I got a 9 and a 2. Let's go ahead and double team that. It isn't going to get too much better with that. And my powers just aren't lining up. I haven't rolled at 8. I really was wishing to roll 1 8 at least to recover those dice. That's not going to happen. But at least I killed a source of 3 damage. The Knight is the last one to go. They have a 7. So they're going to put it here. When placing a die on this creature, discard an available die to the spent area. There are no available dice. Let's go ahead and just take advantage of that and set them up for a kill next turn. But the incoming damage is brutal. 3 damage each. 6 total. I am already down to half health and I'm not through half the deck. That does not work out for me. Pan that camera out so we get more space there. Skeleton. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Nice, easy monster hit if I can get the exact number. The Shade. Another character where you take 1 damage when placing a die on this creature. That's what the Knight is for, if I can actually survive. And the last one is the Troll. No die of 10 plus may be used on this creature. So not as bad, but collectively they do form quite an intimidating row. Let's Go ahead and give those dice a shake. Come on, baby. All right, so I see 16, I see 11, I see some 3s. No 8s. I'm never playing with this sorceress again. First things first, the sorceress is going to layeth the smacketh down 16 for you. I have 18 left to deal on that big old cave giant. The knight is going to go next. They are going to draft a 3 and discard it in order to get rid of this gargoyle. Please make some progress. Sorceress is going to draft this 3 and re-roll it. Try to get something a little bit better. Literally a little bit better. Let's go ahead and put that 4 right there. Their power is that they are going to increase this to 18. The knight's going to do the same thing. They're going to take this 4 and hope for a better result. That better result is 10. That is fabulous. That 10 is going to go on the cave giant, and we are going to supplement that with this magic item. Wand of Blasting. Place this card on a creature to deal 3 damage total. So we have 22, 32, 35 total damage on 34 hit points. Bye-bye, cave giant. Hopefully that helps. So I don't think I'm going to be able to beat another 2 damage creature, so let's just take this one out with the knight. They're not going to take that damage from putting it on the shades. Let's go ahead and just do that. And let's, why not? Just, I only need a 2 to beat this skeleton. Or, well, it's the sorceress. Should I put on the troll instead? Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and put on a troll. No die of 10 plus can be placed in this creature. When I beat it, I'll get a mace. But I may not make it that far, because they are dealing 3 damage to me. I am down to 2 with each of my characters. That's just the luck of the dice. I don't think I've rolled a single 8, not one, with the sorceress. And I happen to not take characters that enable rerolls, so that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And this might get ugly really fast. Rat Swarm. No dice of a 5 plus can be placed on here. They do 1 damage. Notice how small these enemies are. That's another aspect of the luck. Had I gotten these small enemies, I would have done a lot better than getting that row of giant chunky monsters. Basilisk. You cannot re-roll until the creature is slain. Looks like I'm going for you first. And the Bugbear, which is a little bit beefier. Where were you all when I was earlier in the game? There are 3 cards left. So if I make it through here and 1 more, then I would be at the bottom. So I'm not doing that bad. On second thought, yes, I am doing that bad. Come on, sorceress. You could treat me good. Finally, we're not going to treat anybody good. So first things first, this basilisk has to die. I can't re-roll stuff without it. So this was a 6. Sorry about that. That is being placed by the knight, who's the first player this turn. We're going to put that 9 over here. 9 and 6 is 15. Goodbye, basilisk. The knight is going to go. They're going to go ahead and re-roll this d10. Let's see what I get out of that. That becomes a 7. That is helpful. Let's go ahead and whittle down this troll. All right, I'm going to go ahead and draft this d20 from the knight. The knight is going to roll again. Come on, do something good. That's even worse. That is horrendous. Oh, my word. Okay, so at this point, I don't think it matters. We're just going to kind of roll out the string over here. The sorceress has this 9, but what the heck with it? We are going to re-roll and see if we can get an 8. That is not an 8. That is a 3. Let's at this point, let's do this. Let's just do this. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I only had 4 hit points anyway, so my characters are defeated. I did not make it through the dungeon. So a couple of things to note. Number 1, as I said, I did get that cluster of difficult monsters. Had these easier monsters been seeded through the deck, I would have done a little bit better. I think I didn't roll a single 8. Not 1 8 throughout the entire battle. As I said before, I didn't get any rerolls. So the sorceress just didn't do too much at all. A matter of fact, I've had different games where I've played different characters, just to let you know. Some of the other characters here. So the thief has a 2 that they proc on, and discard a die to use any other dice in the spent area. Very powerful. We have a character over here that I've used very well. The wizard, the 10. The 10 is even harder to proc, But discard this die to slay any creature with 20 or less hit points. I find that a little bit more impactful than what I ended up with the sorceress. Maybe I misused them. I'm not sure. There is a lot to explore though here. I think that there's more to this game if you explore the different characters. But just know that sometimes you're going to roll yourself into a wall and it's not going to go well. Just shuffle up and deal again. But I hope that this video has accomplished its goal of showing you Dice Conquest and giving you the information you need to see if this is a good fit for your collection. This is Jason with the One Stop Co-op Shop, reminding you that we'll see you at the next stop.